no exceptions. Now, if you like all your data being leaked out to the World Wide Web, that's okay. You don't need a VPN. However, if you want to protect that stuff, NordVPN is the way to go. We've got super fast servers. Guess what? You can even watch TV shows on Netflix that aren't available in your country with the click of a button. They have a handy-dandy Chrome extension that makes things super, super simple. No fumbling with network settings. So, if you act now and get a 2-year plan, you will get a huge, huge discount. So go check out what that percentage is, because it's up there. Plus, a free mystery gift. We all love mysteries, and we all love gifts. So go to www.nordvpn.com/Nameless Nomad, or enter the code Nameless Nomad at checkout. So, thanks. Listen, today it's one of those days where you're just super excited, you know what I mean? Just super duper excited. I woke up today and it was kind of stormy. Still, you can hear the trees outside and the leaves just brushing up against one another. Hectic but peaceful at the same time. Spectacle, really. And the weather the past couple of days has been so sporadic. In 1 minute it was hailing and the skies were black and ominous. And the heat began to fall. I know my tenses. And then the ice fell from the sky, and no more than 3 minutes later the temperatures began to rise again, and the ice switched to rain, and then the rain switched to sunshine, all in the matter of about 6 minutes. And honestly, it's a great metaphor for life in general. You wake up into a storm, and before you know it, just when you think it's getting going, everything changes, and sun comes out. And it's a really good example, Things just are never what you expect them to be. And I have a question. I do have a question for you. I have a question for you. And I would assume that you're going to answer it how I expect you would. But at the same time, not how I would expect you to. It's a very simple question. It's a very simple question. What would you be doing right now if you didn't have to be doing what you're doing? Or, let's pose it this way. If you could be anywhere in the world, where would you be? I want you to think about it. No restrictions. No restrictions at all. If you could be anywhere in the world, anywhere at all, where would you be? Now, you might have an easy answer. You might not. But I will say with confidence, 99% of you said someplace other than where you are now. Other than where you are now. How many would say, if I could be anywhere in the world, I'd be right here. I think that says something. I think that speaks volumes. In many different ways. Why is there such an affinity to get away, to escape everything, and escape our lives, escape who we are, and what we've become, our responsibilities, our future, past, or present? Why are we always trying to get away? Why? I think there's a problem with society in general and how we've began to find ourselves living our lives. I like to constantly look at the animal kingdom, for instance, and I know most animals do not have the cognitive development that human beings do, but it's not to say they don't have emotions, they don't have thoughts or feelings, and all of these things that sometimes get overlooked, but they don't wake up in the morning and worry about next week. The bird is looking for a worm. This morning, the birds outside were looking for worms, and tomorrow morning, the birds outside will be looking for worms. Getting texted. Please stop. The day after tomorrow, what is happening? They will be looking for worms. This is what happens when you don't silence your phone. And a week from now, the birds will be, of course, outside looking for worms. You hear that one? It's beautiful. It sounds so cool. Like living on the ocean. It's wild. But the point is with the worm thing. Why don't we take life like the birds? Every morning, what am I going to do today? Well, shit, what am I going to do now? Just forget about today. What am I going to do now? But it's a very difficult thing to do and to think about because we often find ourselves lost in the hours in front of us. We find ourselves lost in the days before us. And we find ourselves drowning in the years to come before they've even began to arrive. And I think it brings along this crippling anxiety because our tricky little brains, they never think about the good that's going to come. No, you see, we're programmed to survive. Always be expecting the worst. Be prepared for it. And how often, in the thousands and the thousands of situations you play in your head, do any of those bad things come true? It's not possible for all of them to, yet while we think about it and we make it our reality, they do feel like they are developing, that they're real. They've come to a place in our lives to fruition because we saw it so, because we cannot help but to sit here and think about all of the things about to go wrong. And none of those about to go right. And if we are, they're weighted so much lighter. That tipping scale just always falls to the bad. So, how do we rectify this? How do we fix this situation? Well, the simple answer is you don't. The more you try to fix the problem, the more you're admitting there is one. And the more you admit there is one, the harder it is to get away. Now, there's a little distraction. You can take a break from all these thoughts, right? And take a few deep breaths. Breathe in the world around you. Listen. Where are you? Can you hear the space? Can you hear the room? That's where you are. And focus on that. So we're here. This is my Ronin case. I use this for stage shows while I'm filming. If I'm doing a lot of run and gun filming, especially for the production that I help produce, it's a lot easier on stage to run around with this because the handheld gets a bit shaky. This has all the goodies inside, evenly placed. But it has been a lot of places, this case. Many countries. Let's open it. So, I don't use this attachment very much, but this is for the phone to go on top of your camera. Or it has these, this adapter here. This goes on the side of the Ronin. You can actually use this, and it will use the phone's camera as a motion tracker, so it'll take the camera and see if someone's moving, and then your camera will follow them based on the data it receives from your phone camera. It's actually really cool technology that I never used because I prefer handling everything myself. That's just how I roll. I love making life difficult. No, but I really should try it. I think it would be really neat. Solo filmmakers, filming yourself, it's a great tool to have. Great tool to have. Put that back. This is the battery. You have a button here. Checks to see the charge. Fully charged, ready to go. Gotta stay prepared. There are two spots here and here. A 1/4 inch thread to put this number. Now, this is like a tiny little squid, okay? It looks like something you'd throw at somebody in Call of Duty to make them go not alive. And what this is a sort of tripod, and when I'm using this, I actually have these two like this, and I use this one as sort of like a stabilizer while I'm, pretty handy dandy, but this actually goes into this, so you screw that in there like that, and then that part is good to go. My buttons over here are making a racket. Now, this is something I bought for the Ninja 5 Atmos I have on top of my camera right now is my external monitor. And what this does is it attaches that monitor to, as I almost drop all of this because I'm a dingbat, attaches that to this, but over here, which goes on to this attachment that I've already attached to this. So that way you have a clear view of what your camera is seeing. Otherwise, you're sort of running around blind because when your gimbal's doing its thing, it's really hard to see that tiny camera screen. So how this works is you take this back to unlock it. And there we go. Actually, I had it backwards because I'm an idiot. And then each one of these is an articulating arm that will help balance. So the camera sits like this, and then it just kind of floats around like it's on air, which is really, really cool and a really, really neat piece of equipment to have, which, like I said, I use quite frequently for shows, but not that much anymore, considering I haven't had a lot to do production-wise these days with the whole COVID-19 pandemic, but we're getting back into that. Don't worry. Getting back into that. Let's put that right back down there, shall we? Goes there. This is kind of just meandered on in there. Let me just unscrew this. Booyah. Goes back into the box. Let me show you kind of what the inside of the box looks like here, just so you can see how neatly everything's placed. Close that up. Oopsie daisies. Where did that come from? Oh. Let's show you the inside here. So, that's what we're working with. Pretty neat, as I said. Pretty neat. Indeed. Now, there's one part I didn't show you. This is the typical Manfrotto mount, so it can go on your overpriced tripods, which I don't own because, one, I'm too lazy to buy one, two, too poor to buy one, and then this is a sort of height adapter, which helps with smaller cameras. And there's some other parts that I don't have in there right now because, well, who knows? Actually, I just got done wrapping up a production for Marriott, the Matilde Palace luxury hotel in Budapest, and it was last week. I had to direct 40 people, 10 of which were extras, so that's the first time I've directed that many people. It was a lot of fun, really interesting, a lot of pressure and stress, but I love it. It's a good time. I ended up losing an XLR cable and one of my mic mounts there, which is why this one looks different than this one, because I had to buy a replacement and wait on that to come because I can't keep track of anything. And believe it or not, just the mount for these is €50, which is like 60 USD. So I was like, screw that, because the mic itself is only like 3 times that. I mean, a third of the price just for the mount. I'm like, what the hell? So I bought this $10 grippy mount thing, and it's working perfectly. So just because something's expensive doesn't mean you should get it, or want it, or need it, or whatever you want. You don't have to have it in your life, is what I'm trying to say. Now, there's something else that I want to show you. This suitcase. Now, what could be in it? What could be in this mysterious box? We have a nice leather handle and brass locking mechanisms with 3-digit locking codes on each side of the suitcase. A nice metal barrier here. Some belt loop straps, not for belts, but I don't know what you would use those for. I think they're just to look cool. I do have some good news, as well as some bad news. We're not going to be opening this today, but I do have something planned with this suitcase. It's quite interesting. I'm currently running into some logistics issues with said plans, but I will get them sorted. Trust me. And we will be on our way to something fantastic. So the next time you see this cream suitcase, we're going to be in business. And you might just be my business partner. Preliminary partner. Just kidding. I'm going to go back to my southern accent real quick, because sometimes you just got to let it out, you know what I mean? And, well, yeah. I try so hard to hide it, you know, and it sneaks back out on me. And then I start talking like this ironically, and just can't stop. Okay. I'm really glad to be back. So, thanks for being here. It's been nice chatting. Hope I didn't swell your brain too much. Hope you get some rest. Well deserved. Shut up. Sleep. Sleepy time. Nighty night. Goodbye. Yo ho. Sleeper's life for me. I want to thank all my beautiful patrons. Thank you so much. Seriously, your support really means the world to me, and honestly, thank you. Thank you so much. So, I will see everybody at a different point in time. I hope that you're prepared for it. I hope you stay expecting, and I hope that if you woke up today with a storm on the horizon, that, well, you know it doesn't last forever, and that the sunshine is on its way.